further ado, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, we come to you tonight again at our monthly meeting, and we just pray for your guidance on our decisions we make, and we pray that we can all be civil about everything, and that we all return home safely. Be with those that weren't here with us tonight, and guide us in your decisions. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Board have a chance to look over previous week's minutes.
Yep.
I'll be entertaining a motion.
Make a motion to approve the previous minutes.
Your second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Financial report.
There was a financial report for you at the door. We picked it up. Basically, go down through it real quick. Snack bar, we're not doing too well in snack bar. We had $37,000 loss budgeted. We're at $24,000 already after 6 months. Tank pumping, we're just about right on schedule. The tank pumping, golf course, we're doing pretty good. We thought we'd lose $38,000, and we're only down $1,400. Assessments or other, we're really in good shape there. We budgeted $581,000, and we're at $462,000, almost $463,000. Keep in mind, we collected a lot of the assessments at the beginning of the year, and we'll collect a lot of assessments at the end of the year. So those are our two big times when we get money for the assessments. Administrative, we're about right on track for that. Security, we're a little ahead on that. We budgeted 35, and we're only about 15. Bathhouse, we're about where we should be. The pool, we thought we'd lose 23, and we're up about $2,200, so we're in better shape there. General maintenance, we're about right on schedule there. The miscellaneous, we're $27,000 budgeted loss or expense, and we're 23. That $11,000, we didn't budget anything there, and talked to Karen about that. That's a depreciation. They used to do it at the end of the year, now they're doing it monthly. So I suggested we might consider budgeting something there next year. And the budget for the year, we thought we would come out 20,000 ahead, and we're 204,000 ahead right now, so we're pretty safe on the budget. That's it.
Any questions? Manager's report.
Do you still set aside money into a rainy day fund on a regular basis?
Savings account?
What's that?
Like a savings account?
The board
That's
talked
that.
about
Yeah, we did
setting monies
like
aside
1%.
for a rainy day fund. So much every quarter, I can't remember what it was. That's still being done.
That is still being done.
It is.
Yes.
Where did that show up in here?
I'd have to ask Karen. I hate to say that, because I don't know, but it is in there.
It's probably not in here. These are expenses and income, and that's set aside as probably an asset account on the balance sheet, not on profit loss account.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I think the first thing I need to talk to you guys is code fines process. We've got everything kind of here under the fine schedule process, but I have had out of the first 4, we've got a lot of letters to be sent out. I've told Vicki to not send them yet because we've got 2 out of the first 4 that want a hearing before the board. And it says here under number 2, in the event the owner elects to request a hearing, the board shall schedule one within 30 days of receipt of the request. It does not say how we're going to do that, if it's going to be during a regular scheduled board meeting, if we're going to try something else. I just wanted to bring that up, and because we need to go ahead with these 2 hearings and get them at that time.
We just do it before or after a board meeting?
Do it after the board meeting.
Yeah.
So what I will do, as these people say they want a hearing, I will tell them then, it'll be just like a court case. You're basically summoned. 'cause
10 minutes after next month's meeting.
it will be at the end of next month's meeting. You need to be there, or it'll be just like a court case. You didn't show. Is that correct? Okay.
Sound right, Joe?
We need a motion or something?
My only concern with that is that if we get multiple of these, how long are we exceeding past the board meeting?
I mean, I think we give them one after. I mean, we're not trying to be jerks about it, but we gotta, they can know 60 days in advance, I would think that they can make it. If they want that, they gotta make themselves available, right? That's my thoughts.
But doesn't it say it's, they got 30 days? So you basically have to hear it.
30 days to.
Of the record.
They have 21 days, from the date of the notice to do one of the following. Request the hearing.
But then, once the board receives or Steve, if you're the point of contact, it has to be scheduled within
Has to
30
be
days.
scheduled.
Which the next board meeting will, should cover it.
Right.
You know, give or take a day, depending on when the request falls in. What I don't, and it's gonna be time dependent on each individual case, but you know, how long each hearing will be, of course, that's just gonna be depending on the, you know, what's presented. But, you know, if you get 5 people requesting a hearing, and each one runs 30 minutes, you know, I would say 20 to 30 minutes, depending.
Is there anything that keeps us from doing these Zooms?
No, I don't believe so, because during, you have, for the board, you can conduct meetings
We
via
get your laptop when you do Zoom?
You can do it here. Into is the person that's requesting, I mean, I have to available.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Just do them
option,
after board meetings, simple.
you know, the option would be to have whoever can meet here and then others Zoom in.
Just don't
because
schedule more
it's-
than 4 at a time. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if you're sending out all those notices and 20 of them request a hearing,
Just schedule them out, 4 at a
You
time.
may just have total additional hearings here in the month within that 30
It
days.
just says you've got to schedule it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just schedule it within.
schedule
30
one
days.
within 30 days of receipt.
Right,
There you go.
right.
That's the way I read it too. Schedule it within 30 days.
Doesn't mean you have to hear it.
Or somewhere.
Okay.
So those 2 hearings will be after next month's board meeting, 10 minutes after the meeting.
Correct. I guess one other question, I have, now, these are both their family members, on these 2 that are asking for a hearing. And so the one member is asking for her mother to act as her, I really think the person who owns the lot ought to have to
That's
have.
gotta be the person who owns the lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Can I ask how many letters have gone out, Steve, already?
We've only sent 4. We've got a lot more ready to go, but I wanted to get this issue set up
As in-
before we ever sent more out. I didn't want 40 of these coming in, wanting a hearing and not know how we're gonna do it. So that's where we're at.
It's a
Are we
process.
ready to go out now?
Pardon?
Are we ready to go out now?
Yes. Okay. We've got signs in for the beaches, new signs. This have got taken down somehow. But we've got new signs for the beaches, and we've got a new sign for the pool to go in. We just haven't put them up yet. The lake weeds, from what I have looked at, the weed control eradication for coontail did a pretty good job. 7 acres got just a little bit in the 2 points still down in that area. Really, the only concerns I've had from anybody, everybody said they thought it did a good job. We've got an awful lot of algae right now on top of the water, and the milfoil didn't get killed. So I want to talk to the guy next year about, or before next year, talk to him about that and
Did we
see
ever identify any milfoil that I know of? Or
I don't think
I don't think. we
what's
ever
the
identified.
pear-shaped leaf.
I have pictures.
Yeah, I've got pictures. either way, I talked to that guy and talked to him about
Next
that.
spring, we'll have them back and do some more
Yes.
training
Yes.
and go that route instead of just the coontail. The coontail was the biggest problem at first.
And algae should be a byproduct of decaying material.
Okay.
Should be. Because that's what algae feeds on, whether
You know, I mean, if you're gonna go and you're gonna clear the lake, you're probably gonna clear the lake of all species as well.
everything.
So there's gotta be a balance in there, you know, how much do you want gone and how much wildlife do you want left in the lake?
And that algae too is a lot of that's, it's easy.
Well, the heat and plus they're shallow ponds. You know, the 7 acre and the Arrowhead both have very shallow ends to them points. And they're gonna have algae when it gets this freaking hot. I mean, but, you know, to get the other stuff under control, I mean, you're gonna end up killing some wildlife if you wanna eradicate it.
Started earlier, or it's like way out. I guess the actively growing.
Usually around May.
Yeah, it has to be.
April, May, is when you spray, when you wanna spray. Okay.
Okay, rural water is finishing up over here at Sugar Valley. I apologize for our roads. We've been trying to wait on them more and more, so we're not wasting our rock budget on it. They had a meeting in here the other day to make a final trip around, see what all they needed done. I was at that meeting. I told them I didn't think that they were putting enough rock back on the places that they had been, because their equipment was so heavy, we have no rock left. They were gonna take a look at that and get back with me on that, because
And they have 2 inches of dirt on top of our road.
they still have dirt on the road. So they were looking that over, gonna get back with me on that. We ourselves have already started hauling rock, and he'll be getting the blade back out of which he has some, but, and both places need it, but I'm saying especially over here where they've been, I am working with them, and if need be, we will. I have a private member is ready to sue if we have to over the golf course being, they hit our water line, and we were without water right when the 95-degree weather started. It plugged up every one of our sprinklers and our valves around the greens. That's why our golf course is in the shape it's in.
Have they offered it any?
They've not offered anything.
But
yet,
they know we're
but
expecting.
they know we're expecting it. And so I'm working through that. I totally believe we're gonna get something without us having to do anything to them. But I'm on top of that, because that's been a thorn. So I am still talking to Rural Water, and they're starting their cleanup process finally, and that'll be happening for quite a while still. I don't know if anybody knew about it, and I don't know, I know the board knows, but there was a fight at our maintenance shop within the last month. I still don't exactly know what happened to that, but that employee is no longer with us. He is gone, he was gone before I could get him in here and talk to him about why. So, just, that's over with. The Airbnb that we've talked about for a couple of months, we looked it up, and just 3 days ago or so, it was still on site. So there have been letters sent out to the owners that they need it taken down from the site. If not, we will pursue further legal actions. So that's kind of what the deal is with the Airbnb. We've had complaints on some property to the south part of the lake area. The county, Darren Wilson, came in and talked to me the other day. There are no pigs on that property anymore. And I've seen pictures that they were there, so, but they're not there now.
Has anybody from the board or any employees with the club or the Sugar Valley been there on site?
I drove by it after the last meeting.
I did too.
You
I drove
can't
by
see
last
it.
tonight.
We had a fire drone come in and fix it, they haven't hit. So that's my question, has anybody from the board or Sugar Valley been on the property besides Darren with County? Because I talked to him as well. You can tell in the drone picture that they're hidden, and they're usually put up during the day and then you hear them at night.
So they're still there based on what you know?
Well, I haven't been able to hire the drone to come back in. And
But it hasn't
we have already had enough FU matches with the neighbors at this point that it was easier for me to pay somebody with a drone to come in and do it from air than to me actually walk down the property line, because the minute I walk down the property line, excuse my language, crazy grandma is up my ass. And so we have to look at each other. We have a gravel road between us, and so it is easier for me to hire somebody with a drone, a high-end drone, that can actually zoom in on the property. And now I'm pretty sure last night I still heard the pigs. But between the turkeys and the chickens and the ducks, I can't 100% guarantee that. But it sounded like pigs. And it still smells like shit, and I get that it's gonna take a while for that smell in a 10 by 18 pen to go away. But I have not been able to prove that they are gone.
We've got a
Or
drone
that-
guy.
Or they are not there.
We've got a
But-
drone guy down here that might be able to do that for you, just for fun.
Well.
Fun for him, I mean, he'll just, I mean, he can just go do it.
Yeah, I mean,
We just don't, and if they're gone, that's great.
If,
Like,
and they were raising them for food, I talked to the grandpa about it,
Yes.
they were raising them for
Yes.
food, and I understand that, and things were okay until they found out that we bought the property.
And after I talked to them, I walked the property, could not find them. And usually you can hear, if they're in a littler building or something, they're gonna be making noise. I didn't hear the noise from them.
Yeah,
But I also said, none of this has been under building permit.
right,
You must bring this up and put a building permit in. And I told them how, look through the bylaws and everything right with them. I said, this is how, and it will all have to be permitted,
right,
not the way it is now.
right.
And so they're gonna be working on a permit and changing things out. I can't say anything about the foul that they have in there or anything, but,
That's not in the bylaw.
right. So, but the fencing, all the area, and it's 2 properties, it's not just one. So that's all getting attention.
Just think they come out here and all bets are off.
Well, that's happened off for 20 years, you know, the last 3
Well,
years.
the comment that was made was, well, I have a farm. No, you don't have a farm, you live in an HOA. You're in a homeowner association.
You're in a subdivision.
Basically,
Basically.
yeah. Yes, sir?
When I drove for Sugar Valley, dump truck operator and shed, there was things there and there's
You don't have far to go for turkey for Thanksgiving, though.
Steve, who is Jared Wilson?
He's
Darren
Lynn County zoning,
The new code-
sanitation inspector.
Oh, okay, well,
Lynn
since
County
we don't have
sanitation
one-
inspector.
Well, we have one, but,
Well, they're with their appraiser's office in Birmingham.
yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know. So he's a sanitation guy?
He took over Andy Mayhew's job in, with Lynn County.
Took
He
over
is
Bobby
zoning
Young.
administrator.
Bobby Young was the last one I had.
Yeah, okay.
And by the way, he lives on the property too. He lives in
He
Sugar Valley.
does live
Yeah.
there.
Darren does seem to be a little bit more proactive than previous. So he's like zoning and sanitation.
Zoning administrator.
His
yeah.
main title is sanitation inspector.
Okay.
Damn good.
And by the way, I talked to him on the phone just before I came to the meeting. He's willing to come to the board meeting. He was gonna come tonight, and I said, no, you weren't on the agenda. He's willing to come to the board meeting if we want him to, and talk to the board, and he's already talked to Steve, and tell us what's going on as far as coaching.
See, I just wish it could be even,
I like
you
the
know.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
I've got one more thing, and that would be we've had in the past, we've already talked about it, probably should have been in their old business, the buoys at the Sugar Valley Beach.
I make a motion, we purchase 3 new buoys plus 1 swim beach area pylon. for
You're
Sugar
talking
Valley.
about the orange.
Orange
ones.
round buoys,
Okay.
18-inch diameter. With
With the rope.
No, no rope in between. No.
Why
So
wouldn't
people
you have-
move them. I drove by there the other day, and there was 2 kids moving them. They were about 3 feet apart, and I drove by just a few days ago, and they were spread back out, so I think we need to,
Well, there's supposed to be 3 of them down there. I mean, they got 2 of them out in the water, and 1 of them's up by the beach. But, the problem with the ropes is if a boat goes past that, then they're gonna drag the whole son of a boat up.
You still need rope.
Or a skier did it.
They ain't supposed to be up in there.
No, they're not.
There ought to be a rope around the swim area.
I don't think.
And
you
maybe
wanna
your
do
buoys,
that.
Dave, what about, would your buoys be all right outside of, if you had a rope in there and have your buoys right outside it? A little ways out?
I don't think you wanna have a boat or a rope.
My motion is to purchase 3 buoys and 1 swim area pylon.
Without rope or with rope?
Without. I didn't say nothing about rope. And the association will provide the weights and installation.
I think Steve can do that, right? Under a certain price?
Yeah.
Steve can do that.
But I mean, we need to get it done. so
Okay,
let's
I
do it.
second it.
All those in favor?
All right.
Now, if you wanna add ropes, go ahead.
We're gonna anchor the buoys, right?
Ain't gonna be
Well,
very-
that's what I was kinda getting at. Whatever's anchoring them right now, if they
John?
can move them.
Put the rope up. I mean, if they're gonna come in
Well, you're gonna
there
have-
with their boats and.
You're gonna have to buy rope and flotation for the rope to hold it.
Let them turn
Well,
around.
the flotation for the rope is the buoys that are on it. It's gonna float at the surface of the water with the buoys that are on it.
Yeah, they're gonna, the big casting nets, like,
Yeah.
I'll look at them.
I sent the pictures in here. It's a rope, 5-foot section, there's a 5-inch by 9-inch buoy on it, and then there's another 5-foot, and then there's another buoy on it. and another
Yes.
5
That's
inch.
the thing.
And that's what you guys have.
No, we don't.
So it was fine in Hidden Valley, I would believe it should be fine in Sugar Valley as well.
Used to have, 5 years ago.
What's that?
There's a deal, yeah.
See, something like that, but I mean, a little more industrial.
Is there a liability issue?
Well, it's the liability with it not being marked, and a boat go in there and kill somebody. I guess that's.
I think I always think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? On that, I think you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Somebody's gonna pick it apart either way.
You know, if you put up a sign, do not enter, they're gonna enter.
No way.
What do you think the rope's gonna do? What's it gonna protect?
It just
Well, it keeps the
happens.
buoys all in place, and you're gonna see it better, because right now there's only 2. But the buoys get moved a lot, I guess is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have 5 buoys that are permanently on, like, are not able to be moved, it's a lot more visual to run.
170 feet.
Once the ropes are permanent, they can't move them.
Well, if you anchor them to the, I'm saying you need to anchor the big orange buoys better in the first place.
The Boy Scouts, they put a rope up. The Boy Scout manual on setting up a beach, they put a rope up.
Well, I think state parks can't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
rope
yeah.
around the beach. I mean,
So,
it's not,
you
to
want
me, it's not
rope,
something we should be
buy
playing.
rope. $575 for 174 feet. Old business.
So what do we decide on the beach?
Steve's in charge, he's gonna do
Well, we
it
didn't
to
have any motion other than mine.
We're gonna buy buoys and set
Well,
up high speed
maybe we
ones.
should go back and add the rope to it, because I think if we don't add the rope to it, it's not gonna get done.
Okay.
But I'll make a motion that we buy new buoys, including the rope.
How much rope?
Well, that we're gonna have to decide.
What just say buy the rope? and we
We're
don't-
120, so according to Google Maps, on where those buoys were at, it was 120 feet from the shoreline to the first corner on both buoys. One was actually 140, one was 120. Then they were spanned across each other 100 feet. I personally think 140 feet from shoreline is too far.
That's far, I mean, they're in close.
I think the rope ought to be at 8 or 10 foot, the depth of the lake, is where I'd say it ought to be. Why would you be
Never
swimming
looked like
past that?
You-
Huh?
Hidden Valley, you'd be halfway across the lake.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you don't need it out there 30 feet.
I don't know, I think ours went out about 40.
We still have rope from the last time we did it. We still, I bought a spool of rope.
It's just rope though, we don't have buoys on the
Yeah,
float
but
of
you
rope,
need the little 9-inch buoys.
but we don't have.
And these come, this comes assembled. This is rope and buoys already assembled, spaced out.
170 feet, 3/4 inch yellow rope with 5x9 hand lock float.
And
Yeah,
it's-
we just bought it in pieces and put it together is what we bought instead of already all getting it together already.
You can do whatever you want to.
Okay, I can get them. Just,
I
You
can
guys
put
want
I
rope?
can put them out again, Steve.
You know.
Well, I think we need to change the weight too. I think we gotta get at least double of what we have so these things don't move. What'd you say they were, Steve? Was it just cinder blocks?
We just put that new no wake buoy out. We did 2 cinder blocks. And we
You ought to have a minimum of 5 gallons of concrete.
that's 75 pounds, 2 cinder blocks.
But I think we should probably go heavier at the beach, just purely because I do
These
see.
are gonna pull.
I literally see people moving, like, so.
That's a challenge for some of those kids if they move.
That's what I'm saying, like.
All right,
I have some 5-gallon buckets of concrete you can have.
There we go.
there you go.
You
All right, anything else, Steve? We gotta move along. Old business, past dues. Joe?
Okay. Speaking general terms, so there was a group of collection letters sent out last month, and about 50% response on those, which is a pretty good response rate, all things considered. And so, with that being said, that kind of like what Steve was doing with, code violations, that was kind of the test group of those. So now, working with Karen, we're gonna ramp it up and we're gonna try and get through all of the past due amounts within the next 3 to 4 months. And so,
Of the 50% responses, what's that look like? Like, did they say eat shit? Did they say we're gonna pay?
No, well, no, so, okay, as a breakdown for that, so, based on everything that's sent, signature, return, receipt, because from a legal perspective, I can then use that if later, when we take further legal action, which is what's going to occur, I'm not gonna say exactly what that is, because every case is gonna be unique, but signature and return receipt is good for service process. So probably about 10% signed for the letters. About 40% never claimed their letters. So we know the addresses are good. It's just, with a signature and return receipt, they let you know that, hey, you have something to sign for. You never go sign for it. They make 3 attempts and it comes back. That helps me because I know the address is good. Probably about 10% of them were bad addresses, which we expected on some, which helps us clean books on everything. And then the rest was either payment or returning lots to the HOA.
That's 50% you said about it?
Yeah, we're about, I would say, 50% responses, but about 40% were payment or providing lots. So, for me, from my standpoint in trying to collect, 50% response is like huge, and so that's why now we feel more comfortable going forward, and then in the coming months, further legal action on those that choose not to respond, even if they acknowledge, we'll pursue further action that way. So we're making movement on that to collect past dues, past assessments. That's a lot.
Is that all you got?
Yep.
Okay, I make a motion that we go into executive session for 15 minutes
For legal.
legal.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. No action, right?
No action. Do we want to set a date?
Give it another couple.
Needham, come back to order, please. No action after executive session. Open forum. As usual, please state your name, length you're from. You have 2 minutes. Please keep it short and sweet. Board members don't get paid. Steve does. I'll take it to Steve first. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, sir.
I'm Larry Goddard. I live down at Plat 9, down below the dam. I got 2 things that I'd like to mention. Do you guys know for a fact that everybody that lives out here on this property has a copy of the bylaws? Nope. No. But I make a suggestion that when you send out the assessments every year, you send out a copy of the bylaws with those assessments. It'll save you an extra mailing, and then you know everybody's got those bylaws.
Aren't the bylaws on the website?
They are on the website.
Not everybody's on the website.
But not everybody can get on the
Here,
website.
have access.
Right. Right.
Good idea.
And secondly, and this may be a legal issue, but I kind of feel like if you've received a letter to clean up your property, that ought to be on the list at every board meeting. Maybe the,
Publicized,
yeah.
right on the wall.
Joe,
Yeah.
can you do that?
Let me look at that. I get what you're saying. There may be a way to do that. I'll look.
We could do, didn't you say we could
Plat
do
number.
lot and plat numbers, but we couldn't do names
Names.
at one point?
Yeah.
Could you do addresses? Yeah, probably.
That's the same with lot and plat.
Yeah, you can find the name.
I'll get back with Steve on that. I'll make a note of it.
I just think it ought to be public knowledge.
If there's a, you're talking about the complaints that were
Yeah.
done through the code enforcement. Yes, sir. Okay, next.
Drones.
Pardon?
We had a drone flying over our property. I had to talk to the local police. Told them if I saw it again.
Name and where you're from?
Steve Forrest. Sorry. I talk loud enough so they can hear me. I haven't looked at the bylaws. I don't know anything about drones, don't own one, but what Steve told me the other day when I talked to him, you have to be registered to have one. And if somebody, an agent or somebody working for Sugar Valley is using them to take pictures to get an update, that's fine. I would just like a 48-hour notice so I can close curtains and bring the grandkids in. You don't need pictures of them in the pool, just property. A notice would be nice. All of my neighbors have told me
they're seeing drones flying all over. We don't know who they are, but if they're registered, I'm gonna ask the sheriff, can he track down who's doing it? But, is it an agent of Sugar Valley? That's.
No,
No.
we don't have any drones flying around.
So I told the sheriff, I said, if I see it, I'll shoot it down. He said, you know, destruction of private property. I said, but it's gonna be personal property when it's on my land.
If it's over your land, it's yours. Law states if it's over your land, it's yours.
Okay.
No, you can't shoot them down. It's ABA credit. I called a friend of mine who's a lawyer in Kansas City, and he's working hard at it. He says it's horrible what people are using them for.
Well, I don't know what fell out of the sky.
So.
No firearms discharged in Sugar
Yeah,
Valley.
no firearms discharged, yeah. No firearms in Sugar Valley, Sugar Valley. Okay. No, we do not have an agent hired.
Nobody's doing okay.
Back, Nick.
Nick, I'm here regarding the letter I received from Mel about the recreation committee, spending my rights for 30 days for an ATV. Wasn't my ATV, I talked to you about the voting on here. Wasn't my ATV, we were fixing it for a guy, didn't know that you told riding it. Second off, it says I'm suspended for additional 30 days for unserious use of foul gesture towards the security guard. When the security guard is cussing at me, I'm going to fire back at him. I've had words with the security guard numerous times. Joe and I do not get along. I try to avoid that man as much as possible.
Why are you having words with him? Why do you need to be talking to the security guard?
When he flagged me over or something, we had words.
Why did you stop you?
Why did he stop you?
He stopped me because I was on full order. I was tested to make sure it was running.
So I'm not trying, so when you were driving an untagged vehicle, he stopped you doing his job.
Okay.
So can we just look at it from like that side, like?
And I said, okay, I'll go put it up. And he will go fucking put it up now. That's when I took him off and drove off. He don't need to be disrespecting me when I said I would go put it up. I mean, I'll take the 30-day suspension for the ATV thing, but the one for the, uncurious and rudeness, I think that should be dropped, or what do we do about him cussing at people? I also on July 3rd reported alcohol on the beach twice to the clubhouse. The man never showed up. My 6-year-old had beer dumped on her on the beach from a drunk individual.
No,
The sign says no alcohol on the beach, correct?
I will say on July 3rd, Joe did go to the beach, and that was in relation to a four-wheeler that was driving around. So I do know that he was at the beach on the 3rd of
For
July.
3 hours I was there, called twice, the man never showed up. Like I said, I'm willing to take the 30 days for the ATV, didn't know this not an issue, but the other one I would like to have taken away.
That was through the rec committee. Just through us, you know, association. Yeah,
Not through the rec committee then, right?
Actually, it says, your recreational rights have been suspended.
Okay, your recreational rights being suspended. So you're requesting a hearing, in other words.
By the time the hearing happens, in 6 days, it'll be over.
I guess I'm kind of confused about that because I'm under the impression that the board has to make that decision to revoke the 30 days. To revoke his privilege for 30 days, that is a
No,
board
no.
decision.
No.
That's
No.
bad.
Not on that.
The security or I or the board can do that.
So Steve, it's security and you have the authority to do that. It was made, you guys made that judgment. Is there anything to discuss?
Security will do
Okay, so is there anything to discuss then?
Not, Nick came in the office the other day and we had a talk, but I've also, You told me that you were fixing that for some person.
From another person.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
How did you get that back to them? Did they come get
I
it?
hauled it out of my trailer,
You hauled it out on your trailer?
my trailer.
Okay.
So it didn't get road no more, it was, while it was on Kendall's trailer.
Correct.
Was you speeding or what?
No.
Just riding an untagged four-wheeler? Okay, okay.
Unscheduled.
I'm just trying to get the picture here.
So you've got two 30-day charges, or 230, that's how it reads right now, right? You said that your consideration was, I'll accept the 30, not
That's
the.
the 30 for the four-wheeler.
So do we think that's a fair middle ground?
I'd probably drop the 30 for the four-wheeler.
Well, because don't we have a fine schedule? I mean, isn't our fine schedule cover that? Isn't that what it's?
That's what this is under, right?
But that's the send a letter, allow them to do the hearing. Is his rights been suspended, or did he go through the process of notifying you to request a hearing in front of the board?
Basically, his rights have been suspended.
But that's an outcome of a guilty verdict from the board.
I think security levied that on him is what we're saying.
Right.
It wasn't a fine, it was
Correct.
more of
But I
a,
think we need to look at our fine structure. If that's the case on that, then we shouldn't have that as
I
a
would,
fine.
I'd be willing to go to middle ground, just. do
That I think
30
is
days,
fair.
Yeah.
60 days.
Oh, you're on condition. You and this security guard gotta get your heads out of your asses.
I stay away from as much as possible.
Well, I'm tired of this crap, of arguing with the security guard. That's his job. That's what he's put out here to do, okay? So, and we'll have a talk with the security guy, because he does not need to be talking to anybody in that form of language anyway. So Steve will take care
Well,
of that.
I think we should, if we're gonna waive the 30 days, then we should at least go through the process of charging him the $50 fine that our fine schedule says we'll charge. We have this fine schedule, and it says right on it, for unlicensed ATVs or watercraft.
so that's the fine, is $50
It's $50.
versus the 30-day suspension of your
The
rights.
30-day suspension is a decision that,
We can
yeah,
make.
well, that would have to come after we go through the whole process. The first thing he should have received is a $50 fine. That
So-
he was driving an ATV without registering.
I agree with you. I also think that this is kind of, nobody knew about this, so we're kind of getting thrown in our face right now. So I think maybe just kind of make it calling an audible and.
Well, I would say let's call
Making
an
this-
audible, send him a letter saying he's gonna owe $50. If he wants to put it in front of a hearing, he has the process of the fine schedule.
You're not involved in this? Yes.
Well,
You got anything else, Nick?
no,
Okay.
I don't think you can go retroactive once you.
You're not involved in this, Howard.
So, that's my thought. We as a board, as our fine schedule, send him a letter
I
that
just
it's
need
unregistered.
to drop 30 days and go.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think
On
that's
this deal. Because we're still structuring that.
Yeah, well, if it happens again, he's gonna get a $50 fine.
Right, that's
And make
fine.
notice to anybody else that is driving an unlicensed ATV, golf cart, whatever the case is, no matter who you are, that you will get a $50 fine and a letter from the association, and then we'll go forward from there.
Fair? 30 days drop, still got 30 days from whenever.
Need a letter.
Okay, next. Read.
I've got two things, one.
State your name, where you're from.
Uh,
I know you, but not everybody
Sugar
does.
Valley, I had two things, one kind of ties into security. There seem to be a lot of concerns about availability, effectiveness of our security, and this has been over time. I will share with you that on a couple of occasions, I've contacted security, I get an answering machine, I've never received a phone call back from security. On 4th of July weekend, there were kids across the lot from me. One, I didn't call this, I just happened to see Joe driving by. There was a very evident underage kid on a mini bike, an underage kid to go on. Joe drove right by him, never stopped. And it was, so, with all that said, I wonder, and I suggest, there's time to think about hiring a security department to handle our security needs. Joe doesn't seem to be very effective. That's the perception. Perception is reality. It may not be true, but perception is reality.
Reed, I sent 2 emails to the board this last week and a half, and I said, can we get a job description for what security does? Because purely, I've heard that too. He's been nothing but great to me. With that being said, I don't know if he's doing a good job. And on that note, I wanted a job description for the kitchen staff as well, like kind of a flow process. So those are 2 things that we've actually just got a tad ahead of, because to your point, what are we paying these people for? There's either 1 person in the kitchen or 4, and the 3 aren't working, or you can't find Joe or you see Joe. So we want to get a job description, kind of a flow chart, just a process. So to your point, what can you expect? Hey, I called, he wasn't by within an hour. In his job description, that's what it says he's supposed to do. So we're actively working on that.
It's not very comforting when you call security and you get an answer. I understand he's one guy to cover a large area. Maybe we need more than one guy. But I think something needs to be done about security, and that's.
What's your other point? You said you had 2?
Yeah, the other one was, Corey on social media has suggested, and Corey has suggested this on a couple of occasions, if you bring an issue, or bring an issue, bring your issue to the board, and a suggestion to resolve it. I absolutely agree with that. However, again, the perception is that nothing ever happens to the majority of issues that are brought to the board. I've been in meetings, I come to just about every one of these meetings. Many suggestions have been made in these meetings that have died. After discussion during the meeting, then it just died, and nothing ever happens. So I want to make 2 suggestions. I've already made one on security. When an issue is brought up and a suggestion is made, if it's not decided, and obviously you guys can say, no, we're not going to do that. That's perfectly within your law. But if it's not decided or resolved during the meeting, in the next meeting, Steve should report on what was done with that issue. So it doesn't appear that it died. That's my suggestion. So I made 2 suggestions tonight, one on security and one on this. Up to you guys, what you decide.
It's hard, Reed, because we can't talk outside of this. Like, it's not a sanctioned event. So if I couldn't call Dave and Lauren tomorrow and be like, hey, let's talk about those 3 suggestions, we can only do it here. And a lot of these are thrown at us, like, in real time, so we don't have the decision-making skills to do those right away. But we try to keep those in mind. But just like the fine schedule, shit, we've been talking about that for what?
2 years.
Well, exactly. And because we have once a month, an hour and a half, maybe 3 minutes to focus on the topic. So it's not an excuse. It's just that I can't call Dave tomorrow and say, let's do this. And,
That and the collection on the back dues, that's been on the table for 10 years. We're getting somewhere now,
I get that.
but
And we would already been started.
nobody sees that. They always want more.
Is there a way that somebody on the board could call for just, I don't care what you call it, like a special session where, as long as you've got a majority of the people there, then
We have to have an
you can
open meeting,
discuss.
don't we, Joe? Don't we have to have an
Well,
open
you
meeting?
have to have an open meeting, but then you can call executive session and make decisions.
You can have a special meeting anytime you want.
Yeah.
You guys can meet
So-
10 times a month if you want to.
Yeah, but
It sounds like they'll be
so
meeting like.
special meeting,
it's like a hub and call.
I resign.
special meeting, call the meeting, announce it, and there's a timeline for that. I don't know what that is, but, or off the top of my head. But there's nothing saying that then in turn, that special meeting automatically turns into executive session or board work. Yeah.
You can't make any decisions in executive session, but you can discuss it.
Well, right, yeah, but then you discuss, come up with a plan, then table it for the next meeting to.
You've only got 15 minutes, for instance, for an executive
Yeah.
session.
We've got whatever we call it.
Okay. Howard,
Real quick, can you set up a function where you can also.
name, where you from?
Howard White, over by the boat dock. Can you do something when you have a particular issue, refer it to a committee to then report back for an official? That way allow you to take a particular issue, assign it to a couple of people to do a little research, whatever they gotta do, and then bring it back to a meeting. Is that within your?
Joe said we can pass that to a committee for a recommendation.
If you have a committee established that would fall under, then that committee, I mean, they'll do it all the time. You know, committee just get a recommendation for the board, and the board votes on it, or motion.
Have you seen how many people sign up for committees and we put out the list at the beginning of the meeting?
I'm just trying to give you another kind of
Not
to
much.
get things.
Not many.
Okay, anybody else on, yes.
John Ray, Sugar Valley. I'd like to know who's in charge of maintenance.
Who's in charge of the maintenance?
Yes. Because maintenance is pretty much not happening.
That right now, I guess probably would be me.
Oh,
Yes.
I called Karen.
There's not a head guy anymore.
I thought the guy would do that.
Skylar? Yeah, Skylar, he's golf course and maintenance. All my guys basically are golf course and maintenance. That was put together by Ron Nicholson years ago because of money problems. I think we're getting closer to a point of, I would love to get that split back up. If we've got enough money, I would love to have just maintenance guys and just golf course people, because there's a need for both. You can see our roadsides.
Definitely need for maintenance.
Yes.
You know, I'm from, my background's maintenance. You know,
Yeah.
I'm seeing maintenance issues a lot.
We gotta fill out an application.
Anyone else?
And
Thanks, John.
already told me.
Anyone else? Okay, new business, pump truck fees. I brought this up, I put it on the agenda because Karen and I had a discussion here a couple of weeks ago. Me being in construction, I know how bad things are getting with cost and whatnot. So I brought up to her, I said, how much is our pump truck making or losing with the new fuel prices, tire prices, whatnot? As we took monthly run of our bills and monthly run of our pumps, and on average, right now, we're losing $9.85 per pump. Wow. Compared to last year.
And you're getting smoked harder if they're prepaid already too.
Well, this is just on diesel fuel. This does not include tires, oil changes, maintenance, any of that. This is just diesel fuel only. Okay? So it's probably more than that. I don't know how a person wants to handle it or how a person should handle it. If you want to look at a fuel surcharge and
Well, as an association, we can't afford to lose any more money than what
right.
we already are.
And that way we could even put that on the ones that, I mean, it'd just be so much.
I think Harlan will just donate gas, right? Moving forward.
They don't have an electric, they have an electric pump
Bill
track?
just had a heart attack here.
Yeah, Bill would definitely have.
But if you do this fuel surcharge, being my numbers are just on fuel, well then you could put it on the ones that did the $700 prepay, blah, blah, blah. Some of them have only used 2 of their pumps out of the 10. Some of them have used all of them, obviously. So it varies quite a bit. You know,
What do you think?
and I would suggest if we do this, that we revisit it whenever it goes below $4.50 a gallon again.
So you think
You
add
know,
a $10
so-
fuel charge?
Huh?
You think add a $10 fuel surcharge to all pumps?
Well, that's just gonna take care of the fuel. Pardon me?
What if you did it on mileage?
That's gonna be hard to keep track of.
It will be hard to keep track of, but
When you gotta think about, some people, you know,
That wouldn't be fair, because Hidden Valley's way over there, long distance away.
Well,
We couldn't get more.
you know, if you're only going from Hidden Valley to, Blue Mountain to Dunn.
right.
Yes, sir?
You're talking about pumping our holding tanks, right?
Yes, sir.
How much do you charge? 85. Every time I call, I couldn't get a truck to come out, so I go to Shannon, they raised 125. You charge them a fee to come into Sugar Valley?
Nope.
No.
To get my business?
No.
Why not?
Yeah, you can run it wherever you want.
Outside Sugar Valley, we have our own system. Why don't they charge a fee, like a toll? You know, if they want my business, they're charging me $40.
You're lucky to get them in here in the first place,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
They should give us 40, split it with you, get 20 of it back.
Well, you don't have to call them.
I just wanted to bring this up, guys. I
Something
just,
negotiate.
What do you think,
with them,
$10?
they want some business.
well, minimum $10 fuel charge. But
Hey, even with us being in Sugar Valley, I mean, obviously I see what diesel fuel prices are, and I know there's some maintenance issues even with the septic truck. It would not bother me a bit to pay more for our pump,
I mean, even,
just to be able to have the service.
Right.
Honestly, I mean, he said, what did you say, Shad was? So at 85.
They just called me a week ago, and I called the office and said, we don't have a driver. So I said, well, I need to get pumped, so I called Shannon.
So, help split the difference, make it $100 a pump.
How's the current price set?
we reanalyzed it last year.
Or is there a rule on there or something?
We ran the numbers last year and adjusted them.
Yeah.
it's
It
been
was 75,
a year and a
then it
half.
was 85.
Been a year and a half now.
Yeah, so.
We said we'd revisit it in a year, and we just kind of skipped past it in a year, so.
So add a $15 fuel surcharge and
I would say more, I'm more with that one, $15.
To
Yeah.
all pumps, or to just the 85? To all pumps?
I think you're gonna,
Fuel
I have
surcharge.
prepaid pumps, I don't
Yeah,
really
I
care
know.
about it, but I think people are gonna get pissy about it.
I mean, I'm okay on, I'm not prepaid, but I'm all right.
Well, Karen said she had a couple of people that were prepaid, and they said that they was fine with it.
Okay,
If they-
then do it.
I mean, everybody's living in a life, it is what it is. You go to the grocery store,
Yes.
it's 40% higher.
The money's not going in our pockets, I mean, it's sort of.
It's not.
Anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion, we have,
About the campers, same deal.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we got
That's a
you.
whole different deal.
Well, not really, it still costs you to drive to
I
the
know,
house.
I know, but they're,
I say all pumps.
all
Well,
pumps,
the campers though, you do multiple at one time. I mean, you'll go around and have multiple campers.
depends on if they got one there on the books or two on the books. A lot of times you can get a holding tank and go to a
You go to a
camper,
camper.
and that way you get it done.
You're not helping.
you wanna read,
So well,
just say reevaluate that.
it's one trip
at
to
the
the,
board meeting?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, so you're
I think
getting,
that's what
you're squeezing.
it's like you
more
said,
into
till fuel
the
comes
camper
down,
area.
or so,
Okay. So I make a motion that we add a $15 fuel surcharge to all pumps, and we will reevaluate this at the next board meeting.
clarify, prepaid pumps, paying up in advance pumps,
Prepaid,
camper
campers,
pumps,
all.
house pumps, $15 surcharge on everything.
But I think to make this palatable to people, I think you're gonna have to have a limit on it. I think saying we'll revisit it each time.
We just said revisit it next month.
Well, the problem is if fuel prices.
Go down.
Because what happens with fuel surcharge, and I was in business for 20 years up in Olathe, fuel surcharges don't go away. You know,
Well-
that's the perception, and like you said, perception's reality.
Yeah, but it's not baked into a bill, or knowing about whatever.
I mean,
Yeah.
you want us to say anything over $4.50, we have a right to charge the fuels?
Yeah.
Fuel surcharge?
I don't care what it
Then
is.
you're asking the office to manage what it costs
Well, no,
that
because
day.
once it hits that
No,
amount,
no, I'm talking about, you can look at it each month.
I don't think 450, it's gotta get under $384, I mean,
What would be the bottom line to get rid
We
of
established
To get rid of
Get rid of it completely.
$2 a gallon.
exactly.
$3.
Okay. Realistically.
Realistic, I mean, a year and a half ago, what the heck was you paying for diesel? You know, you was paying less than $3 a year and a half ago.
So it's $2 a gallon when you guys did that. 'Cause
So,
we
I
said
mean,
it
You just
$8.
paying less than
Yeah.
$3.
I
So
don't have a problem saying if it's below $3, we don't have a right to.
Okay.
charge the surcharge.
We got a hand up, Dolly.
Yeah, who's gonna help me pay that? I'm on a fixed income, and you guys start jacking it up, you guys got jobs, got money coming in, there's some of us that are on social security. And I am paying out like, pardon my French, I'm paying out my ass for dues and fees and all that, and I'm still having to pay the gas to go to the grocery store just like everybody else. And so you're talking jacking it up that much. That means I don't get to eat. I gotta go to food bank. I don't even qualify for a food bank. I don't qualify for food stamp. So who's gonna help me pay that fee?
Any other discussion? We have a second.
Second.
What do we have on the table?
$15 fuel surcharge on all pumps.
Reevaluated at next board meeting.
Reevaluate next board meeting.
No minimum. I won't approve that unless we say diesel gets below $3 a gallon.
Okay, $3 a
Yeah,
gallon. great.
$3 a gallon, we'll drop the surcharge, anything
2024,
above that, we
the
don't have a
Republican
right
on.
to charge it.
Yeah, that's fine.
So amended?
So then,
God knows, if you-
All those in favor?
Second.
Opposed? Okay. Three gone.
Any other new business?
Committee reports. Yes, sir. Go right ahead. Hang on, we got some more new business.
I've been talking to some people about the storage lot. Excuse
One at a
me.
time, please.
Excuse me. I've been talking to some people about the storage lot, the abandoned vehicles. I've talked to Robert Morris over in Centerville. He's gonna come out Saturday and take a look at them with me. I've talked to the codes guy, Darren Wilson. He suggested talking to the sheriff's department. And he also suggested West Recycling. So I just wanted to let you know, I'm doing some things now to take a look at that. We need to get those out of there. They are abandoned.
Can we, at very minimum, cut the grass? Move them?
They did cut the grass. They
Put
cut the
gravel
grass
down, I mean, can we?
Makes it look worse, now you can see them all.
Well, that's true.
Those people are not, those are
No,
abandoned. They're abandoned.
Well, they all received letters till a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
What
So I-
happened to the dude down in Fort Scott?
He flew the coop.
He went away.
Hardy.
He goes
He
to
is
this-
Burton's buddy.
So I just want to let you know, I'm working on that issue, and I'll meet with Robert Morris on Saturday. We're going to take a look at it. He wants to make sure there's air in the tires and what kind of vehicle we're talking about. And I'll bring it back to the board and talk about it, but I just want to make sure.
the thing you gotta realize now, boats, nobody wants to take them because it's fiberglass.
They're
They
not
have a
worth
hard time
anything.
getting rid of it.
All right, committee reports. Lake,
Why not? Earl Cap, Hidden Valley Lakes. We all know that they've sprayed two lakes over here, and they sprayed our lake over here. Over there, whatever. But I heard people talking to me today, and I talked to some people, you got some issues still with the water, Steve. I think we might get a hold of the guy and have him come down here and tell us what's going on. And that way, we don't make a foolish decision on anything. I don't know if it needs a little addition or if it's what's gonna go away, but but we still wanna continue to do a maintenance program.
Correct.
My other issue is, and I've talked to Dave just a little bit about it, we have 20 geese living at our swimming area. It is absolutely disgusting, I'm telling you, it's got me one down there cleaned it last week, and by Wednesday, you couldn't tell anybody cleaned it. They're staining the concrete and everything. We've been in contact with the state of Kansas, we got a report from them on what we can and can't do, but we haven't got it ready yet. But all I know is they're protecting those people.
I sent it to you.
So, that's what we're working on now, because I think our swimming area is absolutely disgusting.
I would say with upland game season over,
can't do
You
that.
can't do
You
it.
can't do it, I know. You know, I think they may put them in
Can
Turkey too,
we,
but.
if, the problem with trapping them and hauling them off though is if they were born there, they're gonna come right back there.
Well, that's what.
There's a certain time that you can do them, and they
Yes,
won't
that's what we're
come
gonna try to
back.
find out. We don't know yet. We don't know all the rules and regulations. The only thing I know of
Destroy
is
the
that
nest,
you
but
can
you have to
destroy
have
the
a
nest,
permit
but you
to
gotta
do
have,
that.
yeah, you got this, they're a protected species, and that's what makes it difficult, so.
But you still haul, even they can be hauled
But
off.
anyway, we got a
Can you spill rat poison?
30-page thing
No,
that
like
we gotta
rattlesnakes.
figure out, so. But we will be discussing that in other board meetings and letting you guys know
There you go.
They're
what we
endangered
think
species.
we need to do, because it smells so bad, you can't believe it.
Okay.
Earl, back on the lake.
But anyway, that's what we're up to now. We're gonna look to see if maybe we can make the geese move, not kill them, just make them move.
Back on the lake treatment. Was all of Arrowhead treated, or are we still waiting on?
No, it was only a percentage of arrowhead that was treated, because if we treated it all, it would kill
Yeah,
everything.
and then do we know when the return will be? Is that next year that we're looking at the second treatment, or was it giving a length of time?
Possibly, like I said, I think Steve, we need to set up a meeting, have this guy come out and give us an analysis of what is.
Come look at it during its active growth,
So,
besides just coontail. We knew we had coontail.
yes, and what he pretty well directed, everything was at the coontail. I've seen some pictures of some pondweed and some other different things. I don't know how we're going to address that yet. Gotta look at it.
Any other committee reports? Rec committee? There you go. Listen up, please.
The boat parade and the golf cart parade was at the second best over 4th of July. I still have prizes that people have not collected, so if you want, get a hold of me, I have your prizes. We are looking for volunteers to head off the barbecue contest on August 20th. If anybody would be willing to head that off, Candace might have back surgery and I'm out of town, so.
I'd be a taster.
It's called a judge.
Oh,
Here at the clubhouse here?
And they're done.
Yeah. So
Gotta have
if we
beer.
can find somebody to head it off, if not in August, maybe we can postpone it later in the year.
I'll reach out to a few on that one.
We're thinking about in 2023 getting some ideas put together. We're thinking about water aerobics in the pool. Does the board have to approve that or is that Steve that would have to approve that? And what we're thinking is.
we've had a lot of people ask me about that.
Yeah, we're thinking before the pool opens at 10, so if we did water aerobics like on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 9:45, and then charge whatever the pool fee is for the people to do it, and then maybe add an additional $2, that way it goes back into the rec committee for something
Right.
else to go to. Was that you,
That's what
Steve?
that's what I've always told people, they can have water aerobics. My problem with that, my wife and I cleaned that pool last year, and for $25 a day, I won't stay around 7 days a week, day and night. I'm already here too many hours. So I panned that out this year, and we were paying $40 to a couple to do it. And there's times, I mean, they can't get here by that time to get the pool chemicals checked and cleaned and all that stuff. 10 o'clock is about as early as who I can get to clean it anyway can get here. Anything before that, and I've told people they're welcome to come in groups. You know, at 10 o'clock, there's nobody here, even this time of year.
Okay.
But I've always told them they would have to pay the price, whether they were a member or non-member.
Right.
And
Exactly.
they're welcome to that. But they've always shied off because of the price. They said, we don't want to do it. So, I mean, I can handle that with them. That's,
Okay.
we can do that. It's just really tough to get somebody that's gonna be here early enough to clean that pool for you to be here earlier than, say,
Okay.
10 o'clock.
Okay. What is the deadline for your 2023 stuff for the newsletter?
It goes out.
It's late, yeah.
November.
So you need it by end of October?
Yeah, middle October, probably at the latest.
Okay. And, that's it.
Would anybody be interested in golfers in helping with a night golf tournament? I will let you know. So I'm still looking for somebody to help.
What's the date?
Should be determined, it doesn't matter.
Oh, so I can't say I'm busy?
Whatever
I can't say I'm busy?
Think about it.
Anyone else?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second. All those in favor? Thank you.